What is going on, guys? It's your boy Big Lun. Welcome back to another Destiny What to Use in Weekly Heroic Strike guide. Sorry I didn't upload this yesterday. I got a little bit off track with timing and I forgot it was Destiny Weekly Reset. But without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So the modifiers this week, we have Heroic, Solar Burn, Small Arms and Ironclad. Now the two good ones this week are Small Arms and Solar Burn, so let's get straight into it. For weapons this week, now taking Small Arms into consideration, any primary weapon is going to be good, okay? So you can use whatever you want, but again, I always rate hand cannons and scout rifles a lot higher in PvE, just because of the damage output. You know, you're going to get a lot more damage in per shot with a hand cannon or a high impact scout rifle. Maybe Firefly would be good this week as well. Obviously that's going to be affected by the Small Arms being on as well. For something like special weapons, anything is going to be usable. You can play it safe if you wanted to snipe. You can use a fusion rifle, you can use a shotgun, whatever you want. Personally, I'm going to use a shotgun. Make sure, again, you're using something with a solar burn modifier on it. Icebreaker and invectives are also good choices for exotic specials. As it goes for heavy, pretty much, again, you can use whatever you want, just as long as you are using a solar burn weapon. Gjallarhorn is a very good place to start. Absolutely shreds whenever it's solar burn, are very good at actually damaging bosses. Could use a sword if you fancy being a little bit more risky this week. Sleeper Stimulant if you fancy a little bit more of a challenge but getting huge amounts of damage in per shot as well. Could even try out the Nemesis Star if you wanted to try something a little bit more different. That's pretty much it for the weapons. As far as it goes for Warlocks, you've got a couple of builds you can mess around with, two that I'd recommend. So obviously Sunsinger is going to be your subclass of choice. Now this is what I'm running. It's basically the Solar Flare grenades with Viking Funeral, Touch of Flame, a very good build. Make sure you got Radiant Skin on there, Flame Shield just in case you need it, just so you can tank a little bit more damage. With the Sunbreaker Gauntlet, so you get an additional solar grenade, and the solar grenades actually last longer. Very good gauntlets, very underrated in my opinion. I have seen quite a few more people starting to use them as of recently though, so that's actually very promising indeed. There's another build as well I'm going to show you if you want to start off with the Starfire Protocol. Now this one is a little bit more of a damage dealing build if you're actually trying to get a hell of a lot of damage in on a boss. You know, quickly melt them, give you and your teammates a damage buff from your Viking Funeral, stacking 3 times. Make sure you're landing your fusion grenades correctly on the bosses and it shouldn't be a problem. But anyway, let's move on to the Hunters. So getting straight into the subclass for the Hunters, the subclass of choice here would be Gunslinger. Now Gunslinger is going to be your solo subclass for this week. Very effective if used correctly. This is basically my setup. It's a pretty funny messing around setup. I've got Knife Juggler on there with Gambler's Dagger and Scavenger, so I've constantly got my throwing knives to throw. If you don't feel comfortable, you know, using all this sort of throwing knife build, you could just put your Incendiary Blade on so you get a little bit more damage. Maybe you could use Circle of Life on there as well, so it extends your Golden Gun if you want to just quickly throw it at a low level mob. That'd be very much more viable as well. Make sure you're using Deadeye though if you're going to actually be using Golden Gun so you get more damage in per shot. Celestial Nighthawk would again be one of the clear choices this week. You get one shot and it deals a absolute crap ton of damage. It's absolutely insane. Another build that I like to run because I like the movement speed, I like to speed run things, so again I would also go with Bones of Eo with a better control build. This would be something that I would use again if I was playing solo as well. It's very good to actually just mess around with. Again, do not be afraid to use Night Stalker. Night Stalker is still probably the best subclass on a hunter without a doubt. Not only does it benefit you, but it benefits your team as well. You'll be able to melt bosses faster, you'll be able to make orbs for your teammates, so in return they're going to get their supers faster. In general, it's just an awesome build. This is what I like to use. Make sure Predator, extremely underrated perk. I've seen a lot of people use Shade Step, I've said that before. Predator is by far the better option here. Light of the pack on there, so you're actually making orbs for you and your teammates. And better control for the jump, and I also use Black Hole again, so we're actually getting the best use of our super. Vanishing Smoke on there as well, just in case we need to go invis. And that is pretty much it for the Hunters. But anyway, let's get on to the Titans. So last but not least, again, we have the Titans. Now, Couple of possibilities this week. Again, the solo subclass for you is Sunbreaker. Very, very good subclass. Make sure you set it up properly. I've seen a few people not really know how to set it up. There is actually a couple of builds you could go for. Thermite grenades, definitely recommend trying to get used to these. They're actually very good in anything PvE. Incendiary grenades, again, are a very good option. Very good blast radius and get the job done very easily. Increase control on there for the jump. If you don't know how to Titan skate, you can just use whatever jump you want. For the actual super, you've got a couple of options. You could actually go for a sunspot build, so you can actually just stand still and throw the hammers across the map at bosses and get a lot of damage in that way. But if you're not really comfortable with doing that, you like to move around and, you know, fly across the map and stuff, I prefer to go with Forge Master. Make sure you've got explosive pyro on there as well, so when enemies are killed with your hammers, they actually blow up into the other enemies, in return giving you more kills. Make sure you've also got Cauterize on there as well if you're actually running this build that I am using, just so you can actually regenerate your health. Again, if you're actually using a Sunspot build, you know, you could probably go for Firekeeper, very good. There's a couple of things that you could actually do if you wanted to use a little bit more of a grenade and melee build. Simmering Flames is actually a very good choice. Now, if you are using Simmering Flames, I would actually suggest using a different exotic other than Twilight Garrison. Insurmountable Skull Fort, so you get that additional melee charge in there, might actually be pretty decent. Or if you don't really feel like going in for the melees, you could actually use Armamentarium, so you get in your grenades even faster anyway. Again, you could use your Defender Bubble if you're actually running in teams and you're all sniping at the back of the map, trying to get huge damages in that way with Weapons of Light. But again, it's completely and absolutely up to you. This is just my opinion on what to use this week. Hopefully it gives you a few ideas. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for future content. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.